Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Dominions 5. My name is Mew. This time around, I'm going to be playing a multiplayer game set in the Middle Age, and I'll be playing as Kamatan. You might never have heard of Kamatan, don't worry. They are randomly generated. This is going to be a very gimmicky game called NationGen. It's going to be a vanilla game of Dominion, so there's no balance mod installed. There's no snow.dm, there's nothing fancy like that. It's just running a randomly generated selection of nations, courtesy of NationGen, and a randomly generated set of spells, courtesy of MagicGen. So I've already got a MagicGen game on my channel, my Uber game. If you want to see a MagicGen game in action, go check that one out. I don't think I've done a NationGen game in Dominions 5, but I do remember I did one in Dominions 4, I think. I'm pretty sure in Dominions 4 I did a NationGen game where I had a nation that had like H3 reanimating priests, but I didn't realize that was good, so I just didn't use them, and then I got rushed and died. But yeah, hopefully this won't be that silly. But this will be the first NationGen game I've done in Dominions 5, and I'll put a link to the program in the description, so if you want to go and generate some nations, go check it out. Since this is a NationGen game and a MagicGen game, I guess I'll do videos on all of the Magic again, because people seem to quite appreciate those videos in the Uber series. But I'm not going to do videos on all the nations. I'll just be, whenever I encounter a new nation in game, I'll just go through their nation screen and just quickly look through their mages and units and things. I'll show off my nation of Kamatan in a moment. For now, I'll just quickly go over the god, though. Our nation isn't great looking. We have a weird selection of undead ghoul guys and then human guys. And the human guys all have absolutely terrible morale, and the ghoul guys all have absolutely terrible magic resistance. And none of them are particularly good either, but we do have quite nice mages, which is something. So I'll check out all of the units and stuff at the end of this video. So for now, I'll just go over the build. There's my god. Kamatan, I'll just show off the tender selection you get. Kamatan didn't really get much in the way of tenders we could pick. We do a dragon or a earth serpent expander. There's a couple of weird things in here. We've got some of the Devi of Darkness and the Devi of Fortunes. That's about it, really. Basic stuff, and then fountains. So I went with a fountain named... Oops. Oh no. One moment. Okay, welcome back. Here's my god. It's an oracle named Six Fragrant Tomatoes Very Juicy. Our nation is primarily an astral nation, so leaning into the astral helps a little bit. There is like an astral gem generating global and stuff like that would be useful. And I really wanted a magic resistance bless as well. We have some decent mages, but some of them don't have great magic resistance, and some of them are undead. So being able to forge shrouds that give our mages magic resistance seemed like a pretty good idea. So I really wanted magic resistance, and since I was going for an astral god or an astral nation to get magic resistance, I might as well bump the astral up to try and do some of the big astral globals, right? So I put it to 7 because that's where most of the globals are. That leaves us with 3 points of astral left over. You can't do anything with 3 points of astral, so I just got 3 levels of arcane command for the bless, so there we go. There's the astral part of the bless. The oracle also comes with some water, so bring it up to 4. The cold one give us frost weapons. We have some sacreds that they have several attacks per round. They've got 2 per round plus a lance charge. And one of their weapons is already magical as well. So I thought, well, just bunging some kind of attack bless on top of that would be pretty nice, I suppose. So why not? I've never used frost weapons before, we'll see how it goes. This is 8 points of cold damage, I assume that's not armor negating or armor piercing or anything, so it might be worthless, but who knows, it might be pretty good on a cavalry unit with 2 attacks per round. So there's the bless anyway. Mostly just did it for the magic and magic resistance. In terms of scales, a lot of our units are actually quite cheap to recruit, but we still want a lot of gold, especially early on because we have very expensive forts. Our forts cost 800 gold each, unfortunately. And also, our units are quite cheap, but they're very low quality as well, so I feel like if we're going to be using units that aren't the sacreds, we should probably make sure that we can summon that we can recruit as many units as possible, and just have like hundreds and hundreds of bits of chaff. So I wanted to go kind of hard on a scales build. So we've got Order 3 and Prod 2 and Growth 2. That's pretty good. That'll give us a lot of income. We need a few resources, but we actually have mages who generate resources, so it's not... Productivity is mostly for the additional income, really. So we're going really, really heavily on scales. I just want to be able to recruit as many units as possible. I also wanted Magic 3 because it's a MagicGen game. I want to be able to get as much research done as possible. And we have a really efficient researcher as well. We have a 45 gold researcher. I don't remember how much research they generate. It might be 7. That's pretty nice as well. Luck 1, because I didn't want to be neutral on luck. I didn't want to have misfortune. And we do have a pretty good national hero. We've only got 1 national hero, unfortunately. But yeah, I just wanted to tip luck up slightly so that we're more lucky than not. Again, I just want lots and lots of gold. If we get like just a couple of additional gold events on top of the big scales, that'd be really nice. I just want really, really good economy, especially early on. There's the scales. Dom 7, this guy's imprisoned. Why not? It's just a complete scales fountain with a pretty good bless, pretty good magic. Not much else to say about the god, really. I'll switch over now and just look at the nation, so I can show off the nation in detail if you want to see that. I'll obviously be showing off units as I recruit them. But yeah, if you want me to just go through all of the units now, all the commanders and that, you can see our wonderful nation of Kamatan. So it's a race of humans and ghouls, light infantry and heavy infantry, blah blah blah, expensive forts. This is really annoying. We have lots of astral, we've got some fire, earth and nature. And our priests are pretty good as well. We've got H2 priests who are 40 leadership as well. They're quite nice. This is what they look like. We've got a scout who is a spy. That's pretty good. Our starting scout will be a spy. Maybe we can go and infiltrate someone's cat with that guy. We have Taskmaster, Commander. Some of our units are slaves, but the slaves are also undead, so their morale is already pretty good anyway. And an elite commander. So these are pretty odd units. Undisciplined slaves cause unrest, they're undead. They have very high protection from claw attacks. They're just 80 leadership commanders though. Some halberd chieftains, these are really good leaders, or slaves, but again, our slaves are mostly undead, so it's not really all that useful. And then we've got the priests. So H1 priest, H2 priest, 40 leadership. Apprentice Stargazer, these are my efficient researchers. 45 gold for 7 research. That'll be 45 gold for 10 with my scales, that's really nice. An undead slave. These guys have 13 magic resistance, which is terrible. But they'll be really, really good communion slaves. That's my cheapest mage. Major Stargazer, my middle mage. These guys generate 10 resources. So we'll never really want for resources if we're recruiting lots of these mages where we can. We can recruit these anywhere. There are only 2 recruitment points. And they're pretty good mages. F1, E1, S2. I mean, that's a lot of magic. They'll have 16 research from my scales for 135 gold. Not too bad either. Yeah, they're really, really nice mages. And then my big cap-only mage is more of the same pass, but we also get nature, and then we also get a pick. If we're really lucky, we'll have... if we're really, really lucky, we could recruit a guy who is S4, which should be really cool. And that lets us easily get a lot of astral spells. And of course, we can also very easily forge caps and coins. So, yeah, it's not out of the question that we get an S6 mage pretty easily. It just requires getting the very, very lucky 10% pick, so, yeah. But again, very good mages. These ones aren't undead, so they have much better magic resistance, but only 10 morale. The middle mages have 15 magic resistance, 15 morale, and then the little guys are 15 morale, 13 magic resistance. Bit awkward. Units, most of our units are just human garbage. Some ghouls as well. The ghouls have... A lot of our units have terrible attack as well as a thing. These guys have 8 magic resistance, they have 9 attack and defense, but if they hit, I suppose they do hit for 23 damage with a halberd. That's something, 11 protection. They're all very cheap though, you know, 9 gold, 14 resources, 9 recruitment. We've got another guy who's, these guys are 12 gold, 7 resources, but 19 recruitment points. They hit for 22 damage with a battle axe, but again, very low attack and defense. A lot of our units are kind of like that. We do have some good archers, they're 45 range longbows, only 10 precision. But, yeah, they're not awful archers. They're also very cheap again, 10 gold, 18 resources, 9 recruitment points. Could probably get out loads of those guys. Falchion units, again, very average stats, just basically 10s across the board, hit with a falchion. Nothing too special. None of our units have forest movement, which is like their special ability, I guess. So forests aren't a problem for us. Here's one of the weird ghoul knights. These guys cause unrest, they're undisciplined. They have 17 protection and 8 magic resistance, with like 0 claws. I don't know, these guys might have some uses, I'm not sure. The protection's nice, I suppose. Ghoul Slave Halberdier, I guess this is. Again, just mediocre stats. 8 protection, 10 magic resistance, but they hit for 23 damage if they hit. I mean, like, if we can mass a lot of these things, yeah, maybe they'll be hitting really hard per square, but I don't know. They don't seem like great units to me. It's just going to be a case of recruiting lots and lots and lots of units and then just buffing them. We have really easy access to protection buffing spells in the spellbook. But yeah, the spellbook will be their own video. There's like starting spells that give them... there's like a fire spell that gives you bark skin, and there's early earth spells that give you bonus protection and stuff, temper armor things. So we can get their protection up pretty high. So they might not be completely worthless. Is the slave champion. Then we've got the 2 more interesting units. We've got these guys, who are tramplers. They're also size 4, so they will actually trample quite a bit of stuff. But only 12 hit points. So again, once we start being able to lay down protection buffs, maybe these guys would be kind of useful. These are a lot more expensive than some of the other things we can recruit though. 35 gold, 22 resources, 46 recruitment. Yep, no tramplers. Might use them. And then the thing I'm going to be really leaning on, especially early on, are my sacreds, my temple destroyers. These guys are actually pretty good. They are a bit expensive at 45 gold apiece, but they're probably going to be the only thing I recruit in the early game, so it doesn't really matter. I'm Dom 7, so that's 7 per turn. That's all we need to worry about in terms of gold early on. But these guys have 2 attacks per round plus a lance charge, and then one of their weapons is length 4 and already magical. That's actually pretty good. They'll have the cold weapons bless on top of it. They'll have 2 attacks per round, one's magic. Their attack skill is pretty bad, unfortunately. They've got 14 defense, 13 protection. They're very fast at 20 combat speed. They've got good morale, 18. Magic resistance is okay compared to a lot of our other stuff. They're by far my best unit. And I think they're going to shred things in combat if they... once they get a bit of experience to get their attack skill up, especially. And there's a Weapons of Sharpness spell in the spellbook pretty early in construction. So we could really, these guys could really hurt, I suppose. Special abilities, Patrol bonus 3. Don't know if that's going to be useful, but it's there, and they also have Forest Survival. Yeah, I quite like these units. They're not the greatest units in the world, but I think they're in a nice kind of middle point where they're not too expensive, and they're probably going to be pretty effective. So I quite like them. And that's Kamatan. Nothing too interesting in our... oh, actually there is, yeah, that's right, I remember. We can scry from our cap site with a range of 6. I need to remember that, because that might actually be really useful at times. So that's something to bear in mind. And the other one isn't useful though, yeah. Lots of gems as well. 2 pearls, 1 earth, 1 fire, and 1 nature per turn. We're going to need lots of pearls if we want to play this the way that I want to play it. Because there's lots of big astral globals. There is lots of shreds that need to be forged, especially for these guys. These guys aren't too bad, I suppose. 17 magic resistance. It's the morale that's a problem for these guys. They're being blessed for the morale is also probably quite useful. These guys are in a kind of mediocre position. They'll also benefit from the shreds. Yeah, but that's the nation. This game's being played on a custom map. I'll put a link to that in the description. You'll see it on turn 1. I'll put links to NationGen and MagicGen in the description. Thanks as always to my patrons for supporting me and the channel in making these videos. And thanks to everyone who likes the videos, comments, subscribes, all that YouTube stuff. It really helps because my channel's really small, so I don't get much traction. But yeah, thanks as always for watching. Please leave a comment if you enjoy it. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy it or any of the other videos on the channel. And I think that's it for the intro. So the next time you hear from me, it will be turn 1. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.